Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. So today is Tuesday the 19th, and today we're going to talk about you're only as good as what you practice. You're only as good as how you practice this business, because I say this every day to agents, especially brand new agents, is that even the busiest agents aren't going to be writing offers every day. They're not going to be negotiating buyers and sellers. They're not going to be going on listing appointments every day. They're not going to be having, hopefully almost every day, they are prospecting and having conversations with people. So in my hierarchy of where agents are usually more skilled or can get skilled, and then where they kind of drop the ball, kind of go into that and practicing. Now, number one, prospecting. That's where you start. You got to go find the leads. You got to build your database to find the leads, to get the appointments, to get the showings and the listing appointments, and go from there. So what happens is you get lots. You should get very comfortable and proficient and good or better at prospecting, because you're doing it more often. You're practicing, and you're practicing while you do. It's kind of like, I use the word or combination, like football. You know, the football, NFL, they practice probably more than baseball players actual practices, because they only play a certain number of games. 16, is it, or 17? 17 maybe, I think, here. And then baseball, they play like 180 games, 90 at home, 90 away. I don't think they practice after they go to practice, but probably in between they're doing some practice. But the point I'm getting at is that when you prospect, you're practicing, you're doing it. You got to get out there and do it. But you should take time in between prospecting to review your scripts, see what's working, take more classes, watching videos and listening to podcasts and watching real estate coaches, and how to hone in those skills. Because I always like to compare to sports, because we all know about sports. It's like kind of like golf. You think that Tiger Woods would have to stop. He doesn't have to practice anymore. He just goes and plays. But these golfers, they keep on practicing and practicing and practicing. In between playing, they're practicing. They're going over their shot. They're going over the course. They're going over the history of, like, last time they played that course, where the ball, their shot, what was best on the green. Who knows? I'm not a professional golfer, but I know there's a lot of practice and analyzing things and learning before they go back out. That's what you have to do. That's what great agents do. Now, prospecting, because you're doing it every day, or you should be doing it. And next is now when you have someone that's interested in talking with you about real estate, just like the first catch, like, oh yeah, someday we might be buying or selling someday, but we want to talk with you about being that trusted real estate advisor when we are ready. Now you got them on the hook for an appointment to talk to them about real estate, to take it to the next level. Have you practiced? Do you have your information ready? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? What are you going to present to them when they're ready to buy or sell, they use you? That hopefully happens a little bit more often. I mean, again, going down the funnel of how often, that should happen often. That's your goal. Next is to get those people in your database, and then as time goes on, as the timeline goes, those should turn into buyers and sellers. Now they're interviewing you as a buyer's agent. Hey, you've been staying in touch with me for a year, 2 years. I'm ready to buy. Again, what are you saying? What are you doing? How are you communicating with them to keep them as a buyer's agent, to be their buyer's agent? Listings, are you ready to go on a listing appointment? Do you have your presentation? You've been practicing what you're going to say? Are you going to be flipping through a presentation or emailing it to them? Are you ready? Get ready. Practice this. Yes, most new agents practice this right before they do it, but you're not going to be as good at it if you're not always be ready with it. So that's the practice. And then next is negotiations and dealing with the other agent, is following up with the transaction from start to finish. What are you going to do? How are you going to communicate? What are you going to put in the calendar? How are you going to keep it organized? How are you going to deliver the keys? All of that. And it kind of, if you could see it, because even the busiest agent is not selling 365 houses a year, a single agent. There's no single agent selling one house a day by themselves and handing keys out every day and signing offers, because how many offers do you need to write to actually sell one house a day? So you're not doing some of the things that could ruin a relationship or ruin future referrals because you're not doing it often. And then that's when agents don't bring in business because they're doing the prospecting, but then they're always going for those new customers because those customers at the end are not giving them referrals and they're not following up with the prospecting. So they're always hunting for new people. Because you didn't really realize, because you just got them through the finish line. You just, we found them a house. We sold their house. That's not enough at the end of a transaction to get referrals. There's got to be a lot of communication and a lot of things that you're doing and practicing, or at least organizing and being ready for them. So example, I'll go like first responders, in hopes that they don't get into situations that they're practicing for, but they get ready, they prepare. They could prepare their things, prepare their skills, prepare their technology, prepare their tools to be ready when it happens. So that's what you've got to be doing, is preparing, getting ready, practicing, so you're not rusty, you're not fumbling across it when it comes up. Of course, we're not first responders in the aspect that someone's not calling us right now and saying, I'm buying a house tomorrow, get over here, or I want my house on the market tomorrow, give me a listing presentation in 10 minutes. You're always going to have a little bit of time, but how good will it be when you're kind of already ready and you're not trying to whip it together and trying to memorize things and get it all together last minute. So just something to think about, because in these times, a lot of agents when the agents are going to need more skills when the market shifts. Some of our skills have not been put to use in a while because of the market, with this high demand of houses and the low inventory, the lack of inventory. So how many listing appointments agents are going on, the lack of agents and having to deal with sellers for 6 months, the skills and the things that they had to say, the lack of working with a buyer and showing them 60 houses and trying to help them decide what one of the 60 houses for sale they're going to buy, and they have all the time in the world because they're all not selling tomorrow. That will happen, not happening next year, but it will happen in the future because we've been there before, and doesn't mean a bad thing. So let me rephrase that. I'm kind of going off tangent. When there's 60 houses for sale in a market, all in the same price range, it doesn't mean a bad thing. We've had great real estate markets with much higher interest rates when there was a buyer's market and it just took time to sell the houses. So that doesn't mean bad. Sometimes I talk to agents and I say these things like, oh my God, it's horrible. I'm like, no, it's not always horrible. So, but that's it. Remember, reach out to me, call me, text me, email me anytime. I'm happy to set some time aside, put you in my schedule, and go over and help you with anything that you need. So that's it. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Bye-bye.